Hello. Welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz. Um, Man, it's been a while since I've done a zodiac reading. So I'm excited that the energy of them came back because for a while it was gone. And anyway, I like I said, I'm glad that it's back. And Pisces is the first one that we're doing. How are you? How are you doing? Because I know, well, I mean, that was the Ten of Cups that was flipped over, but we don't take those. It's just interesting. I saw that after I asked you how you were doing. So, yeah, I mean, are you feeling good? How are you feeling? I know we have Saturn in Pisces. We have the Sun and Mercury was there too, I believe. I don't know if Mercury still is. It might be. But you know, lots of big stuff. You could be having your first Saturn return. You could be having your second Saturn return, depending on your age. But nonetheless, obviously, we all have Pisces in our chart. That's the ninth house for me. And let me tell you, yeah, it's been a ride with like beliefs and even like learning, diving into astrology and human design again, like obsessively. And um again, beliefs and all of the things. So let's get you an oracle card. We just need one. There we go. Relax the hold of darkness and be at cause. Interesting. They're standing on top of a cut tree trunk, if I can use my words. And that feels like, if you're old enough, because I don't know if they have these things around anymore, where you stood in that air machine and there was like money flowing all around you and you had to try to catch as much as you can, which wasn't like as easy as it looked, if I remember correctly. Relax the hold of darkness and be at cause. Interesting. All right, let's get you some tarot cards. We'll read about that card. We have the Queen of Swords, the Sun. It's kind of funny that cards keep flipping. Okay. Holy cow. Oh, that's actually too many. We just need 4. That was like 6. 5 of Cups. Yep, too many. Ten of Swords, Page of Swords, and the Empress. Jeez. Just wild cards. 8 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. A lot of head stuff. Let me just make sure everything is in frame, and then we'll get on with your reading. Okay. So let me see. I love this deck. The only thing that I'm not a fan of with this Oracle deck is that the messages are like 3 pages long, and I don't want to bore you guys with like reading that much, but let's just see what the first page has to say. It says, Dear Sacred Rebel, this moment in your life requires great courage. Fortunately, you possess that in bucket loads. You are being asked to allow yourself to be lifted out of one level of known reality and into the next level of higher voltage reality. Higher voltage reality requires a more absolute trust and a heart that is surrendered into the great heart of the universe, so that life can happen to us, through us, and with us more quickly, more radically, more beautifully, and more boldly. You are now being invited into this new reality where things happen quickly and according to bold, loving optimism. This is a reality not only of potential, but of manifestation in a great big cosmic yes. It says to access this reality, you have to leap from known waters, and others may think you are crazy for doing so. You have to leave behind the dark, weighty grip of hesitation, procrastination, second guessing, and the belief you have to do everything on your own. You may fear for your life. How will you be safe in the wild, electrical pulse of so much aliveness? Life is wild, but it is also wise. It is a force of startling, raw awakening at times, but is also the natural process of evolution where all things mature according to a seasonal cycle and right timing. You are a part of, not apart from, that process. Love that. Love that. And yeah, I feel like the rest of this pretty much supports that. So, we start with the Queen of Swords. Queens are when we master the energy of the suit within ourselves. We recognize it within ourselves. And it's more, individual. And swords have to do with our thoughts, ideas, inspiration. How are we communicating those things? It's also divine truth and honesty. And by that, I mean objective, like what can be proven to be fact. Because once we start putting emotion into it, it can become an opinion. So the Queen of Swords is about getting clear in thought, mastering your thought even. I mean, look how she's like holding on to the Ace of Swords. Like there might be an idea that she is really holding on to. Maybe this is, how you thought things were going to go, how you thought you were going to turn out, how you think it's going to manifest in some capacity, but she is really holding on to that Ace of Swords. This could even be too, holding on to your truth, like your truth. What is true for you? We have this orb at the top here that's at least met the Ace of Swords, because the Ace of Swords is like a new idea, new inspiration, discovering a truth about yourself, communicating a truth also. The Queen of Swords is very no BS, like she is going to cut out like literally anything that is not true. So again, and even just the way that they're gripping that sword. However, like sometimes that's good, right? That's not necessarily a bad thing, but like other times it does hold us back, or it can hold us back from, keeping an open mind or allowing new perspective to come in that's not yours, right? Like, so again, it's see how that falls for you. Like, are you gripping onto something so hard where it's like preventing something else from happening or preventing energy from coming in? Because then we have the Ten of Swords, another swords card. This Ten of Swords, there's actually two Ten of Swords in this deck. The traditional Ten of Swords, which is the other one, has 10 swords sticking out of somebody's back. And it talks about like defeat, mental defeat. But tens are also completion. So it's like, whatever the mental thing is, it could be all of the what ifs or ego stuff or whatever. It's like there's nothing else, because you're on the ground with these 10 swords. But this one talks about wisdom, right? I mean, we have this older character on this side. We have an owl on the other side. Both are representation of wisdom. And they're like staring at each other. So it's interesting because there's like two different it could be the wisdom that just comes through life experience, right? Mental gymnastics, like all the, you know, those thoughts that come up, or even holding on to a way of thinking, a way of being, whatever, an idea. But then on the other side with the owl, there's this inherent knowledge, even just by being a Pisces alone, right? Because that's the 12th zodiac sign, and it's said to have even just a level of higher consciousness, or the capability of reaching into higher consciousness, intuition, growth, wisdom, right? But it's like universal wisdom, reaching out into the ethers and like pulling it down. But again, it is a 10. So there is some level of completion between the Queen of Swords and the 10 of Swords, whether that is needing to loosen your grip and trusting in the wisdom that you have gained throughout your life so far. Even it says relax a hold of darkness. Exactly. These first two cards, okay? And then we have the Sun card, which is like everything good. It's joy, it's bliss, it's rejuvenation, rebirth. I mean, truly, we wouldn't even exist on this planet without being in the proximity we are to the sun, and that the whole planet rotates. And right, like the whole thing is just a miracle in and of itself. But without the sun, we wouldn't have food, we wouldn't have plants, we wouldn't even exist, right? I mean, like, we need to also have vitamin D that we get from the sun. So this could even have something to do with summer. It doesn't have to, but for whatever reason that's coming to mind. But even the card, I think, was like talking about something big like coming in if you allow it to, and that would be the Sun card. Interestingly enough too, so we go from the Queen of Swords to the Page of Swords. So we saw on the Queen of Swords that the little orb was touching the Ace of Swords there, right? But there's something there that needs to be let go of, because now we have the Page of Swords, and the Page of Swords, they're also holding the Ace of Swords. So there is a truth, something. It could even just be getting honest with yourself in some capacity. There's this book on the floor, which it doesn't necessarily have to be that you're like reading books or researching or whatever, but it's a representation of intelligence or knowledge, or even just something new, a new perspective, broadening your horizons. And then there's this light up here. So there's a new idea, and even just their body language being receptive, vulnerable, open to it. They're also at the beginning of this maze, whereas the Queen of Swords is in the middle of it, closer to the end because it's a queen. And when we get to the King of Swords, they're on the other side of it. And it's not even about like starting over per se. I mean, it can be, but we never start from scratch, right? We start from experience. We start from our level of understanding of something. And as human beings with a consciousness and the ability to understand, just complex, whatever ideas, even just the fact of being human, accepting the fact that we're human, right? It's like we never go back to square one. We start from our experience. And the Page of Swords, again, there is this idea up there floating around. And now, with the page, it's taking action towards it. So it could be practicing an idea, putting a new idea into practice, putting a new perspective into practice. It could, of course, you could be deciding to take a course, go back to school, reskill, whatever it is. It could definitely be that. But it's also a good thing because it's paired with the sun card, like literally the best card in the effing deck. So whatever it is, it's good. I mean, this even little orb kind of looks like a little sun, right? I mean, obviously, you don't want to be staring at it like this person is. You don't want to go blind. But it is just interesting, like the pairing there. The Five of Cups, here's that emotion. Cups have to do with our emotions, our heart. How do we feel about things? The Five of Cups is a grieving process. It's loss. It's also important to recognize that the things that we have tried, maybe they didn't feel fulfilling or bring us purpose. We had to try them. We have to mourn them. But there's still these two cups up here. So all is not lost. And if anything, all you've done is just taken out, the things that didn't work. But again, it's all about perspective, right? Like if we're focusing on the cups that spilled, because we're seeing, wow, 3 cups is more than 2. So I'm down 1. No, you're not. You're down to the best 2 because whatever was in those 3 cups sucked. Wasn't for you. Poison. But, fives are transitionary energies. They're nothing to get stuck in. They're definitely part of the process and important for the process, but not anything to get stuck in. Allow yourself to recognize what you have, how far you've come. Recognize, the things that you had to go through, the losses that you have had. But also remember, all is not lost. And especially with the Empress card, because again, right? Like it was a process of recognizing or even just going through what doesn't feel good to get you to a point of knowing. The Empress is a divine feminine, not the gender, but the energy. So being in flow, intuition, receiving. She's literally pregnant, which in tarot is more about the reproduction of something, reproducing abundance, reproducing opportunity. I mean, it can be if you wanted to, if you're looking to expand your family, it can definitely be that. Even just nurturing your own life. This could be nurturing yourself, reparenting yourself. The Empress is Libra and Taurus. She's ruled by Venus. The South Node is in Libra right now. So wherever Libra is in your chart, there's this energy available for you to recognize what areas of of that part of your chart, depending on what house it is, what doesn't fit, what's not working. Libra is all about scales balancing too, right? So what areas of those things are fair and what areas are not with the Five of Cups. And there's the energy available to make some shifts with that for the next year. The Sun is Leo. I also love how we start with this, attachment to whatever the sword is here. But then we end with the Empress and no longer attached to one thing, but open to like creation, the possibilities. even like being free of whatever this Five of Cups is. Because if this Five of Cups has held you back in some capacity, because maybe it's, I know how this is going to go type of thing. We're not doing that in 2024 and beyond, okay? Especially with the Eight of Swords at the bottom of the deck. The Eight of Swords is a self-inflicted mind prison. This is somebody putting themselves in a mental state of confusion, feeling like they're trapped, feeling like there's no way out. I don't know what to do. There's no decisions that are right for me. I can't. This person may look bound, but they're literally one decision away from just moving their arms and changing their situation. Again, it's a mental thing though. So it's all about mindset. Which I know isn't really easy, but there is an opportunity here to even just observe the way that you're thinking, because right behind that is the Ace of Wands. It's brand new spark. There's a phoenix rising from the ashes, rising from whatever the hell this Eight of Swords is. This is something new. This is a new opportunity. Passion, creativity, taking action towards something. The Six of Pentacles is like give and take. It could be, Pentacles have to do with our money, our time, our physical body. This is about getting back what you put in. This is also about giving back. So it could be charity. It's, having enough, especially with the Empress at the end of the reading, it's having enough to share with other people. You could be either character in this card, whether you're receiving help or giving it. But if you're receiving help at some point, it's paying it forward. And whoever it is that would be giving you the help, they're paying it forward. So it's like this whole, cycle. We have the Six of Cups, which is a card of nostalgia. It's a card of the past. There could be something from your past that re-enters. Not a relationship, because we don't do that. We don't go backwards, but it could just be an idea, because of course, even just, the imagery on this card, there could be an idea that you had an emotional attachment to, because it is cups, that comes back around, that you're like, I think I'm gonna do something with that. This also talks about acts of kindness, and it comes behind the Six of Pentacles. I mean, you could be doing some sort of charity work, volunteer work, social work, whatever it is. Volunteering somewhere, I just said that. It doesn't have to be, but I just think it's interesting that we have two sixes so far. We have the King of Cups, which I believe is Pisces. They're, in control of their ship on those choppy waters. The liquid is even coming out of their cup, but they look pretty chill about it. They have their sea legs, right? The King of Cups, the kings are the highest expression of the suit. So again, I mean, they have mastered their emotions. There's a level of intuition with them, being in tune with their emotions, being guided by their heart, even allowing themselves to be soft, compassionate, empathetic. And then we have the Six of Wands. I think we're just missing who? The Six of Swords? This is recognition. This is success, victory. And then Libra, the Justice card, Magician, Ace of Pentacles. I mean, like, we could keep going. And it all starts with releasing something, or even just loosening your grip on something. Not having to be right. Keeping an open mind. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.